Okay. Finally, some more Final Fantasy. Time to continue the main series quest. Yes. Some of my earliest memories are of Skolak. Monty, actually, he was a close friend of our grandfather. He would come for tea and amaze us with his tricks, much like his demonstrations with the paper and ink. He's a huge part of why I wanted to enter the studium in the first place. Before I forget, I need to turn up the master volume. While Skolak Monty is best known for his role as head of the studium, he is said to be one of the finest mages Charlian has ever produced. Having seen for myself the ease with which he weaves extraordinarily complex and powerful magics, I have no reason to doubt the claim. Ooh, I get a chess piece, 525? That is not an upgrade. Well, that's giving me much to mull over. I feel as though we're one step closer to understanding the forms, motives, and the mysteries of life itself for good measure. It's funny, I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more indebted than before. I have a feeling his friendship and support will be a great boon to us in days to come. And on that note, let's head back to the annex. Perhaps on the way you could better acquaint yourself with Aliapo, as the Scholark suggested, while I share our findings with Raha. What other quests am I on anyway? Oh, 82. I need to go to... Oh, I need to speak with Graha. There's a summoning bell here. Wait a second, wasn't one of my retainers selling stuff. Ooh, nice. 42,627. Withdraw. There we go. I like their outfit. What are they? A scholar. I'm gonna talk to everyone else first. Estinian, haven't spent most of the time in Thavnair. I've yet to fully grasp the lie of the land here in Charlian. Even finding my way to the Annex proved a challenge. Alphino? Estinian returned not long after we departed for the studium. A shame that he missed the chance to attend our lecture with the Scholarch. Or perhaps not. Cryo? It seems I've done an adequate job of relaying Scholarch Monty's lecture to Raha. Given his experiences in the field of souls and memories, he had no trouble understanding it. Alice? You'd better not let your guard down around Key. One small favor becomes another, then another, and before you know it, you'll be running to the other side of the world in search of a bottle of wine or some other rubbish. Isn't that what I just do in general? Then again, it might make for a welcome change of pace from your usual heroics, and as the Scholarch said, it could also lead to interesting discoveries. Sounds like what I already do. Ah, welcome back. From what I hear, your trip to the studium proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow Scions. As expected, news of the warding scale set was met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring the leadership of the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the scales in our possession to Limsa Luminsa. So the time has come for us to go on the offensive? It's too early to say for certain, but that does seem to be the way the winds are blowing. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan, but let us see what awaits us in Vilbrand. If the Eastern Alliance is helping, does that mean we get to see more of Sadhu and the Xela? Let's start by getting the scales out of storage. Give me a hand, would you, Estinian? Ooh, didn't realize these crates were so heavy. I shouldn't complain though. Vertra and this alchemist of the great work put their heart and soul into each and every one of these scales, so you must treat them with the utmost care. Are you not coming with us? As much as I would like to escape the Forum's watchful gaze, I've little no choice but to stay behind. We are already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as our official representative, were found to be consorting with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I shall remain here and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers as I await word from Master Matoria and our other allies. With luck, we'll soon have good news of our own to share. The tide is about to turn, I can feel it, to Limsa Luminsa. Limsa Luminsa. Looks like it's on the lower decks, which is where I'm going. the audio's, like, crackling a bit. Ooh, what's this? That's a cool chest piece. I want it. What's it called? Moonward Mail of Maiming. No, Tiamat Mail. I want that chest piece. I was told to expect you. As you may or may not be aware, the Admiral is at present entertaining the Elder Seer and the Sultana, three of the most powerful women in the world in one room. Do you need a moment to prepare, or shall I show you to them? Politically powerful, you mean? I'm powerful in my own right. My apologies for calling you away from Charlian at such a short notice. On the contrary, we are honored and grateful, and pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. It was only right that this discussion be conducted in person. We are locked in a war of attrition. Our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers, and it is only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. It is reassuring to learn we are all in accord. Hey, gaming of mine, happy holidays, how are you? Good to see you. It is reassuring to learn we are all in accord. But might I ask what your plan entails? I'm doing good. I'm happy I have the next several days off. It hinges entirely on the warding scares and our ability to utilize their potential to the fullest. During your time in Charlian, the Allied nations have engaged on separate fronts with no end in sight. To make matters worse, a surge in abductions of Kobold, Sahagin, Ixal, and Ananta have given rise to an increasing number of primals as well. But your triumph in Radzatan has given us cause to hope once more. The time has come to free ourselves of this menace, and it is you, the Signs of the Seventh Dawn, who has shown us the way. While the bulk of our forces will continue to hold the Tlafroy at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart, Garlemald. Hey Melanie. How are you? I'm just playing Endwalker. These brave few will be the Ilsabard contingent. To think such progress has been made in so short a span. Its objectives are twofold. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. As previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered, robbed of their free will. They serve the Tlafroids every whim without question. They too are victims. It is our duty to deliver them from their suffering, not for strategic or political gain, but because it is the right thing to do. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I ask only that in choosing to remember, we do not also forsake our compassion and morality, for without that there can be no recollection, only death without end. Aye, on that we can all agree. Our second objective is the colossal tower that Thancred and Urianger observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there's reason to believe the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Zot was toppled, we'd failed to make any headway, though the same could be said of the Tloforoi. They're certainly in no rush to press further into our lands. I'd wager the spies' primary purpose is divide and keep us occupied while they work towards our annihilation. Or they want us to destroy them. I'm pretty sure that's what they want us to do. This would appear to be substantiated by Ishtola's analysis of the tower's influence on ethereal currents. Based on her observation inside the Tower of Zot, the spires siphon ether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they draw forth far more than is required for this task alone. The excess of ether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it is not being harnessed for our benefit. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was being directed to the larger spire in the capital. There's a logic in that. Regardless, once we have uncovered the truth, we'll bring the schemes crashing down, along with their infernal towers. Everything's gonna go wrong very quickly. That's all well and good, but what would you have us do? I assume it's more than handing over the scales and being on our way. Are we not gonna mention that Ishola said that there, in the core of that one tower was a person's leg? I want you and your scales to join the Ilsapard contingent. I want to know why there was a leg in the core of the tower. Consider it an official request from both the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance. Do you accept? Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. For the people of Garlemald, for revenge against Tloforoi, for honor and glory. Put it better myself. Ishola, Thancred, and Urianger have already pledged their support and are on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Luckily for all involved, their prediction was correct. The audio's bugging out. Once you have delivered the warning scales to Alamigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilsabard. Raubon and Lord Emmerich are overseeing preparations, so I suggest you make yourselves known upon arrival. Pack warm clothing, furs and the like. Without it, the cold will do you in before the Tloforoi so much as draw steel. As for us, we'll keep the enemy busy while you're gone. You're not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now go. Safe in the knowledge Eorzea will be as you left it, or better, upon your return. Yeah, they should. Last time I streamed, the audio wasn't being like this unless I was in combat. Sometimes the audio is good and sometimes it isn't. Yeah, like now, the audio seems okay now. What was I gonna do? Warm clothing? I think I already have warm clothing. Okay, time to go to the Alamigan Quarter. Emmerich is here. I fancy meeting you here. I trust our mutual friend is settling into life as a scion. Collaboration never was his forte. The moment the fighting ended, off he'd go like a gale cat swept up in a strong breeze. But rest assured, he will always be there when you need him. Probably. If Imric asks about me, say I'm getting on fine and leave it at that. Don't you dare breathe a word about the cord. About how you... The cord? You mean the hair tie? About how you paid more than it was actually worth? I must quiz Thancred and Urianger into conditions we can expect in Garlemald. I know it's cold, but how cold? Will I need to keep my ears covered? They can be a bit sensitive at times. I'll admit, this is all rather daunting, though not quite in the way I was expecting. We'll be standing shoulder to shoulder with our alliance's finest, the best of the best, the warrior of light and, well, me. It's silly, I know. Perhaps this is my way of distracting myself from the part I should be worried about. Marching into Garlemald. You know, I'm quite looking forward to seeing who's been selected for the Ilsabard contingent. I have a few people in mind. Care to make a friendly wager? Well, based on all the influx of art I'm seeing... Sadu? I hope Sadu. They mentioned the Eastern Alliance, so I assumed Sadu would be part of it. Ah, the Wanderers return. You've been busy, bringing down the tower and producing the keys to destroying the rest of them. You should be proud. Those warding scales of yours are what's made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord Emmerich be leading the contingent? Regrettably, no. Our role is to organize the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we have seen you all off, it's back to our respective posts. We dare not neglect our duties for too long, lest our defensive efforts fall into disarray. And just between us, there was a fair amount of opposition to the formation of the Ilsabard contingent. The very suggestion that we send out some of our finest troops behind enemy lines to render aid unto the Garleans has made me rather unpopular in certain quarters. Makes sense. Can't please them all. Sadly not, though I do my best, truth be told. I'd much rather be at your side charging into the fray. Alas, I've battles of my own to fight, where words may serve me better than any blade. I hate to say it, but Lord Emmerich struggles mirror my own. For the time being, the best we can offer you is the peace of mind from knowing Eorzea is in safe hands. As you fight for the good fight in Ilsabard, I and the other commanders will do what we can to convince the naysayers that our cause is just. Thank you, both of you. We meet again. Woo! Gaius! I was not expecting Gaius. But it's Endwalker. I was expecting a whole bunch of returning characters. Much has occurred since we parted ways in the world, from what I gather. The protective talismans you obtained led to the formation of this expeditionary force. My contribution on this occasion is but a minor one, that being the information I've shared with Maxima. For the sake of the people of Garlemald, may the fates be on your side. So you're not coming with us? Strange, I thought you'd have a stake in this. I do. The Talaferoi have laid waste to my homeland and enslaved my people. But though every mote of my being cries for vengeance, I cannot be the one to deliver it. Our presence alone would place the entire mission in jeopardy. I stand accused of murdering Emperor Varus and plunging Garlemald into chaos. Makes sense why you shouldn't be there. You'll be blamed for everything that's happened. Were I to travel with the Ilsabard contingent, it would give my countrymen ample cause to question our motives. Conversely, those who believe me innocent may instead celebrate the return of a former legatus and attempt to raise me to a position of leadership, further destabilizing the region and complicating the contingent's mission. Whether I am branded a villain or hailed as a hero, I would only hinder your efforts. I doubt they'll be pleased to see the champion at Eorzea set foot on Garlean soil. Oh. What the? It froze for a second there. A fair point, but as long as you refrain from announcing your arrival to all and sundry, the average person should have no inkling as to your identity. Although your titles and deeds are common knowledge, only a select few would recognize you on sight alone. Perhaps one day they will learn that the Warrior of Light is not a demon to be feared, but a woman deserving of their trust. I am a demon to be feared. In light of Gaius' rather unique circumstances, I instead will assume the role of your guide. Though I may have defected for political reasons, my love for Garlemald endures. I would stop at nothing to protect her and her people. Well said. Might I ask you to escort our friends inside? You might even bump into an old acquaintance or two, and if I don't see you again ere you depart, may the Fury guide and protect you, all of you. Are we going to see who's part of the contingent? Please have Sadu. I want to see what Gaius has to say. Regardless of how my countrymen receive you, the cold will not treat you kindly. Underestimate it at your peril. Oh, I'm talking to Maxima. Oh, what's this? I want that. The other members of the support contingent are gathered in the royal palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way inside as soon as you are ready. Ah, the remaining members of the Scions. Your friends and most of the Ilsepard contingent await you within. Would you like to see me? Would you like me to see you there? I think that's roughly what he said.
By the 12.
Who's here? Black mages. Ooh, her. Lots of people are here.
Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
As you can imagine, our traveling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose. We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald. Much rides on the efforts of
He's
the
really
Ilsepard
into him doing push-ups.
Indeed, which is
Ooh,
why
Lucia.
I'm glad to find myself in the company of many trusted comrades. Yourself
I haven't seen her in a
included.
while.
Lucia!
I have come at the behest of Lord
I like
Endwalker,
her.
who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. For the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end. We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that, if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest of our company.
Who's it gonna be? Who's this gonna be?
Everyone!
Is it just gonna be showing
attention.
who's already shown? I see a few job trainers here.
Might I ask you to speak first?
If I must. I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation. Here on behalf of my esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer,